We are back in Thera, and our Technetium is secured. But we can't really start thinking about building our Tech 2 guns yet, because we still have 3 and a bit days left on Metallurgy 5, which we need to train in order to research our trigger unit blueprint. So I think it's time for us to get serious about grinding some of that ISK we need. We are in the limbo right now before the launch of the Equinox expansion, which is going to change the Cynabal build cost, which I talked about in a whole emergency video blog. So at this point, we don't know exactly what our total ISK requirements are going to be until Equinox goes live. But at a minimum, it's going to be a few 100 million ISK, and right now, we have 136 million. So what I want to do is I want to start being very diligent about tracking the ISK per hour of the different activities that we have available to us. So far, our most reliable ISK earning activity has still been nullsec belt ratting. But there is another thing that I've been meaning to try for a long time, and I think this might just be the moment. From all of the data sites that we've run, we have collected a whole bunch of filaments. Now these needle jacks take you out to nullsec, which is possibly interesting, but not what we're talking about today. I'm interested in these abyssal filaments. This is Bill. Bill wants to build a Cynabal and join the Angel Cartel cause in Zarzak, but he's not making it easy on himself. Now the abyssal filaments come in 35 different varieties, and we have, 8 of them here in various quantities. There are 35 varieties because there are 7 different difficulty levels rating from tier 0 to tier 6, and there are 5 different flavors of each difficulty tier, things like the exotic, the dark, the gamma, the firestorm, and the electrical. Each of the different flavors will involve different environmental effects, like for example, the dark filament has a field of dark matter that will reduce weapon ranges and enhance ship velocity. When you activate an abyssal filament, you will be teleported into an instanced pocket that no one else can get access to. And in this pocket, there will be 3 rooms full of NPCs that you have to kill. The NPCs in these rooms don't drop any loot, but each room will have treasure chests in it, which are full of loot unique to Abyssal Deadspace, including Triglavian data libraries, which can be sold directly to NPCs, which means that running these abyssal filaments is a route to direct ISK in our wallet. But there are 2 major wrinkles to running these filaments. You might remember these wrinkles from when we ran that Capsuleer Day combat site. In order to use a filament, you have to be out in space, and when you activate it, you go into your pocket, but a filament trace is left behind, which can be seen on D-scan and which can be combat probed down. So while you're in there, someone else can find your trace and then lay an ambush for you to kill you and claim your loot when you come back from having run the site. The other wrinkle is that there's a 20-minute timer on these sites, so even if you're running them successfully, if you can't complete all 3 rooms in under 20 minutes, the pocket will collapse and your ship and your pod will be destroyed. So we're definitely signing up for a fair bit of peril by doing this. Now the combat in these sites is balanced for cruisers. 1 filament lets in 1 cruiser, but you can go in smaller ships. I don't want to risk Thomas the Thorax in these sites, at least certainly not right off the bat, but Gladys the Thrasher ain't afraid of no dead space. If you go in with destroyers, requires 2 filaments whether you do it with a friend or alone, and the loot is roughly doubled. So if we look again at the filaments that we have, we'll see our choice is slightly limited by the need to have 2 of the same filament. We can't use the Tranquil Dark, and we can't use the Calm Firestorm. Now these Tranquils are difficulty 0 filaments, and all of these Calm filaments are difficulty 1, which means, since we obviously want to do our trial run at the bottom of the difficulty ladder, our choice has been made for us. We're going into a Tranquil Exotic filament, which means that we will be faced with reduced kinetic resistance for both us and the enemies, and enhanced scan resolution. The scan resolution is not going to be a big deal in a small ship like this. The kinetic resistance is something we'll have to plan for when we are putting together our fit. So let's do just that. This is Gladys of the Abyss. We have gone for an extremely disposable and replaceable ship. Basically all Tech 1 modules, we're not even using our Tech 2 damage rig because the chance of losing GLaDOS on this adventure is very high. The NPCs might kill us, hopefully not in the tier 0, but it's certainly a possibility. And even if the NPCs don't get us, we could be ambushed on our outgate, and we're not going to be doing it in Thera, so even if we get out and get off grid successfully, we're going to have to navigate back into Thera with the risk that whatever hole we've gone out through may have closed behind us, hence the scan probe launcher. We've got a full rack of 200mm autocannons. We've got a medium shield extender. We've got a web because there's a wide variety of different NPCs that can appear inside the Abyss. The rooms are actually pretty interestingly designed, as I recall. You could face a wide variety of threats, from swarms of small drones to single large battleships, some of them moving very fast under warp drive power, some of them slow boating around. You want to be able to slow things down, and that's also why we have the micro warp drive, because we might need to be able to catch up to some things that are trying to kite us. Also, the treasure chests I was talking about are scattered all over the room, and you might need to fly around to get them. And remember, there's always that 20-minute time limit hanging over your head. So without further ado, let's go to the Abyss. Here we go. Now, Toon has a few people in it, but next door, Hesserid is a dead-end system with no stations. And it's big enough that we should be able to make a pretty remote bookmark. Okay, we are at a safe spot, a good long distance from everything in system. It's time to activate our filaments. Now, I've only run a couple of these ever, and it was years and years ago when this was first introduced. I'm really hopeful that this being a tier 0 filament is going to give us some room for error, but I really have no idea what I'm getting myself into here. And I know that running these filaments is something that such a broad swath of the EVE community does for income, so I'm also anticipating that the comments are going to fill up full of people telling me I'm doing it wrong, and I look forward to it. I'm going to do my best. Here we go. I hope I don't just die due to talking too much and not noticing the timer tick down. Into the Abyss. Okay, the first thing we need to know is that this pocket of space, like all Abyssal Deadspace, has boundaries. If we fly too far away from that transfer conduit, which is our gate to the next room, we will start taking massive damage. This biocombative cache is our treasure chest. We'll destroy that after we've dealt with the one Ephialte's Lancer, who looks like a sleeper or a drifter, I'm not quite sure. Drifter allied autonomous drones. And they are weak equally against all damage types, so we will shoot kinetic against them, because you can see down here already, the exotic particle storm is giving a minus 30% kinetic resistance penalty and a 50% scan resolution bonus. He's flying for us. Let's get into a tight orbit. Now, these rooms can also have clouds and turrets and stuff in them, but I don't see any active in this room, so we don't need to worry about it. I'm going to leave my overview filter on all, because when you're in the Abyss, everything that is in the environment is going to be relevant, I think. They don't fill these rooms with like asteroids and walls and bunkers. If there's something in here, it's something that you have to be tactically aware of. This is going pretty well. I'm not able to keep a tight orbit with my micro warp drive off, so I'm going to have to pulse it. But his shields are going down much, much faster than mine are. Boom. These rooms, I'm pretty sure, always only have one wave. And that wreck, well, there's no wrecks at all, in fact, because the NPCs don't drop any loot. Room 1 of 3 completed. And despite all my yapping, only 2.5 minutes. Now I have to fly over and shoot this Triglavian bio-combinative cache, which will have our goodies in it. And then straight through to the next room. What do you got for us? Okay, the Triglavian surveys are our ISK. 300,000. The 0-point condensate is used to build Triglavian weapons and ships, I'm pretty sure. I don't think you can sell it to NPCs for ISK, but I'll have to look into that. 300,000 ISK and some 0-point condensate of unknown value. If we can do these fast enough, even if each room is only 1/3 this could end up being okay. Also, the loot's going to go up very, very quickly as we step up the difficulty tiers. I hope. Room number 2. A devoted hunter. True power, which I think is a Sancha. I think they're part of the Sanchas. Yeah, they're part of the Sanchas. Kinetic seems good to shoot against him as well. He shoots EM and thermal, which is a bit of a problem for my passive shield tank. But hopefully, we can just take him down fast. We're going to want to keep him at range. Being a frigate, we're going to be a little bit worried about tracking. I'm shooting the Archangel plasma. I brought regular plasma as well. I probably should have loaded it off the bat, but I was a little bit scared about what we might see. And in fact, even this guy, he's getting pretty deep in our shields before we're able to take him out. I like that little triangle bloom of the gate unlocking, and you can see it actually like physically unlocking, forming a triangle. That's really cool. But let's not go through that gate until we've claimed what's ours. Oh, good. Okay, it's another T1 filament. One thing I wanted to mention is that we only have Tech 0 and Tech 1 filament. We're going to step up to a Tier 1 filament as soon as we defeat this Tier 0 filament, and then if we defeat the Tier 1 filament easily, we'll step up to Tier 2 filaments and just find out what our danger level is, but we can't step up to Tier 2 filaments until we get a couple of Tier 2 filaments, because only the 0 and 1s, I think, drop in the known space data sites. Certainly that's all we've seen so far. In order to find the higher levels of filaments, we're going to be dependent on finding them in these bioadaptive caches. And once again, we've got 300,000 ISK in Triglavian surveys and some more 0-point condensate. On to room number 3, the final showdown. This has been pretty straightforward so far. I'm happy with this. I'm happy we didn't just get curb stomped by the first room. And we still have, again, despite me chattering non-stop, 13 minutes and 20 seconds left. I'm going to reload my regular phase plasma, I think. This is a very, very bright room. Whoa, it looks super cool. And there are 2... What are you guys? Triglavians here. And once again, kinetic seems just fine to shoot at them, and they do explosive damage, which is at least a better match for our tank. Explosive is our highest resist. Same strategy we used last time. They're frigates. We're going to get in close and keep at range. And hopefully with our micro-warp drive off, our web is enough to bring their speed down. Oh, these guys are going down fast. Not bad at all. I'm not sure if the third room usually has more loot than the first two. I think it might be equally distributed. We're about to find out. Pretty much the same. Another filament though. I'll take it. Let's get out of here. And this will be the moment of truth. We'll see whether or not there's 3 Lokis and an interceptor sitting on our filament when we return victorious to K-Space. It's just us and system. Okay, we are going to take this loot back to Thera. We're going to grab a couple of tier 1 filaments. And we're going to try that again. And hopefully in the tier 1 filaments, we will loot tier 2 filaments so we can keep moving on up. Now the in-game ISK estimate for all the loot we got says 1.3 million ISK. Hard to know exactly for the other stuff other than the surveys, but 1 million exactly in surveys. That took us, what, 8 minutes to run? 1 million ISK per 8 minutes. Honestly, that's pretty decent compared to the other things we're doing. Actually, no, I take it back. I take it back. That's about half what I think we were making low-sec belt ratting. But I was talking a lot. I wasn't running that as fast as I could have, and that was only a tier 0 site. With this next site, the tier 1, I'm still going to try and give a little bit of running commentary, but I'm going to try and do it while running the site as fast as I can so that we can get something approaching a reasonable and accurate ISK per hour estimate. Okay, time to step up to tier 1. And now that we've added the filaments from our first site's loot and stacked all our filaments, which I should have done before, I realized we actually have our full selection of tier 1 flavors. We have at least 2 of each: Gamma, Firestorm, Exotic, Electrical, Dark. And I'm pretty sure that Gamma is the one for us. It gives a buff to shield hit points, which is obviously great because we have a passive shield tank. Now, some of the NPCs might have large shields as well, but we'll deal with that when we encounter it. It also gives a negative penalty to explosive resist, which we don't mind that much since explosive is our highest natural resist. So let's grab all 4 of these Calm Gamma filaments. We'll run 1. If we're lucky enough to get a matching pair of tier 2 filaments in there, then we'll step up to tier 2 immediately. If we don't, then we'll run the second one and see if we can stack up our tier 2 filaments that way. In we go. And minimize some of these not important windows. All right, I said no chattering. Let's get to it. Triglavian. Oh my goodness. There's a bunch of stuff going on here. 2 Triglavian frigates and a whole bunch of drones. We better deal with these drones first. And there's a tower here as well, but I can't spare the moment quite yet to see what it's doing. Short range tracking pylon. I think that'll give us a track. Well, I don't know if that'll give us a tracking boost or a tracking penalty. Oh, it's hit us? No. Warp scrambled by the Damovic, which will prevent us, I think, from using our micro warp drive. But the incoming damage is not really an issue yet. These guys are fast. We're not tracking so well. We want to keep our distance from that tracking pylon? Or maybe it's a tracking bonus pylon and we want to go over to it, but it doesn't really matter because it's 57 kilometers away and we are warp scrambled. I may actually want to focus on this guy who's warp scrambling me now that I think about it. I might need to be able... I might need my micro warp drive to pull some range and get out of the situation that I'm currently in. Our shield's going down pretty fast. I mean, not that fast, but it's below half, which is a scary situation to be in when you're a passive tank. And actually heat my guns. I want to be unscrammed as soon as possible. All right, let's fly over to this tracking pylon. I want to see if it gives me a tracking buff. If we zoom over there, and it says tracking buff, then we'll let the drones chase us and we'll fight them over there, because we're having trouble tracking these drones. They're fast too, and I'm having trouble outrunning this guy, even with the Mecha Warp Drive on. But that's fine also, because that at least forces him to line up behind me and become easier to track. Giving it an orbit around it. There we go. Sounds like I got a tracking boost. 80% tracking speed bonus. Yes, please. These drones just keep spawning. I really thought these rooms were supposed to be one wave only. Do I need to kill all the drones? Or will the gate open when I kill this Damavik? The gate's still closed now. Gate's open. Perfect. Ignore the drones. I mean, I'll shoot this guy because he's here. Go kill those loot rooms. Oh wait, let's go to the other loot room first. The one that's not near the gate. How much time was that? Almost 5 minutes. This step up from tier 0 to tier 1 was no joke, I'll tell you that much. And with these loot caches sometimes being placed quite far away from the gate, you can find yourself in the position where you have a very hard decision to make of whether you're going to fly over and get the loot cache and, you know, burn an extra minute of your limited time. I'm taking that risk, but I don't yet know what we're going to see in rooms 2 and 3. 6, sir. Oh my goodness. 600,000 ISK in survey units this time from that cache alone, and there's another cache in this room. And I'm pretty sure this crystalline isogen 10 is similar to that condensate we were getting, which is that it's used to, yeah, build Triglavian stuff. Probably useless to us. It's really these Triglavian survey reports that we're going for. All right, another 500,000 ISK in survey reports and a bunch of tier 1 difficulty filaments. Let's get through that gate. We have 20 minutes to run this whole site, and this room has taken us a little bit more by the time we get through the gate, a little bit more than 6 minutes. We're going to be cutting things a little close. Let's just hope that that first room was unreasonably difficult. This room has another Triglavian frigate and a Kikimora in it, which I can't say I love. I'm a little bit worried about the damage output from that Kikimora. I need to try and pull some range here. I need to figure out what's going on. I need to heal out my shield. And reload to Archangel ammo. I hope I can outrun them. Oh, we're in armor. And I can't fly too far away. Whoa, that's the boundary of the site. I'm gonna start taking damage from the environmental effects. From unstable depths. Get back inside. The longer you stay out, the more damage you take. I am avoiding damage. Oh, I should have spoke too soon. I was avoiding damage for a little while from the Kikimora. Now it's shooting me again. This is intense. There are no pylons or anything to give me range or help me. There's that dangerous red boundary of the site. I just need my shield to recharge a little bit. Fortunately, I seem to be much faster than the Kiki and a little bit faster than the Damavik. So if I can lead him on a little bit of a wild goose chase, I should be able to rush in and kill the Damavik before the Kiki catches up. And if it's just me and the Kiki, then I might have a chance. Alright, in for the Damavik. Kiki's closing fast. Damavik's down. Guns are almost burned out. See if we can pull out of range of the Kiki and recharge our shields. Oh. Okay, but we need to wait now for our shields to recharge, and time is of the essence. 10 minutes left to finish this room and run the last room. Reload our guns. We've got the breathing room for our shields to recharge, but man, our shields go down so fast. Whoa. I just saw the edge of the space looming. I do not want to take any damage from the unstable depths right now. Thank you very much. And of course, as we loop around like this, we're giving the Kiki a chance to close the distance. I don't know how long I can wait for my shield to recharge. I would love to wait for it to recharge entirely. But I feel like that would take most of our remaining 8.5 minutes or 9 minutes. Guys, it's been a fun ride. Whoa, 522 damage, wrecking shot. This is the end of us. How did he catch up so fast? We're done. I mean, I can heat my micro warp drive. I might get out of range again. Maybe. But then what? Then we start charging. Then we start charging our shields up from scratch. The unstable depths are going to kill us. Okay, we escaped the unstable depths with 56 structure remaining. And now the Kiki's closing on us again. Let's heat the micro warp drive. Well, if you've just tuned in, which I mean, I know it's YouTube, but I don't see. You might be wondering how I got myself into the situation. I certainly don't see how I'm going to get myself out of it. My work drive's about to burn out. Oh. There we go. There we go. Guys, I don't think Abyssal Deadspace is going to be where we earn our risk. Okay, I was prepared to just give up. Tier 1 difficulty Abyss. Glad's the Thrasher is dead, gone before her time. Clearly, with our low skill points and our Tech 1 modules, we are not really cut out to be grinding Abyssal Deadspace for risk. But then, you know, a few minutes passed. I cooled down a little bit. I got thinking, I bet a different Thrasher fit could have handled that no problem. Maybe we should give it one more go. Yeah, I thought 2 minutes ago, let's do it, but it turns out we've burned through our minerals far more quickly than I'd realized, and we don't have enough tritanium left in Thera to build another Thrasher. We are Thrasherless, which is a really distressing position to be in. So job one right now is to get ourselves a bunch of tritanium, and we do still have a catalyst here in Thera, and there's a wormhole out to a very deserted pocket of Solitude, Galente Losec, 0.1 and 0.2 space. Let's go see if we can't get ourselves some of those microwarp disruption field generators, which are basically pocket ship construction kits. Let's go. This will also give us an opportunity to recalibrate our expected low-sec ratting hourly income in a blaster catalyst against Serpentis, its preferred prey. Boom. Our final bounty tick has come in, and 1 hour of Serpentis low-sec ratting in a catalyst earned us 8.8 million ISK. That's not bad for low-sec, not at all. And also, highly relevant to our immediate concerns, it brought in 300,000 tritanium worth of reprocessable modules. Let's get this stuff back to Thera. Okay, my replacement Thrasher has finished building. My brilliant plan is to fit 2 power grid modules, a micro auxiliary power core and an ancillary current router, so that I can cram both a medium shield booster and a medium capacitor battery onto my small ship. It does reduce our damage a fair bit, but this will allow us, I think, to survive the incoming DPS from spawns like that Kikimora and Damavik that killed us last time. In order to make all this fit, I did have to downgrade one of the 200mm autocannons to a 125. That's fine. It's held as gospel that you should never mix guns, and that is a good rule, but I think some people take it a bit too far. The idea of never mix guns is a response to the instinct that new players often have of, oh, okay, I'm going to put 4 artillery on my Thrasher for long range, and then I'll also throw on 3 autocannons in case something gets close. That's always a mistake. You want your ship to have a range and a tracking speed at which it operates on all cylinders, but with the autocannons, the range on the 125 is pretty similar to the range on the 200. It would be better to have all matching guns, but as long as they're close in range and tracking speed, you're not really hamstringing yourself at all. Now you will notice the capacitor on this fit with the medium shield booster depletes in just over a minute, but in the environment of this calm electrical filament, we will get a significant boost to cap recharge rate, which means I'm pretty sure in the Abyss, we actually will be able to pretty much permanently run this medium shield booster. We have had to give up the web in order to fit the cap battery, so hopefully that doesn't come and bite us in the ass. If something gets in really close and is orbiting us faster than even our speedy autocannons can track, maybe this 125mm autocannon with its faster tracking speed is going to be what saves the day. We're going to find out. Out to K-Space. Let's go. Into the Abyss. It's this exact same spawn that killed us last time. We are gonna find out now if our plan is a good one. We couldn't have asked for a more obvious and immediate test of the fitting decisions we've just made. Damage is coming in. Let's see how our shield booster does. Uh-oh. I don't think this is going to work. try and stay away from that tracking pylon. Although, honestly, I think that the disintegrators on those Triglavian ships out-tracks our autocannons anyways. While our capacitor's holding, I'd like to separate them so that we can go for the Damavik without taking damage from the Kikimora, but they're doing a pretty good job of staying close together. Okay, we're going to burn back in on the Damavik. We can't just run forever. Our shields are at full. Okay, we've got to run again. And we're dead. Okay. Tier 1 Abyss is not for us. No, wait. I'm not done yet. I was totally ready to leave this episode having lost 2 Thrashers in the Abyss and having nothing to show for it but 1 million ISK in Triglavian libraries. But then, yesterday, this happened. So we have found a wormhole from Thera directly to Albraz. Now that we have a second Thorax here in Thera, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with the idea of putting one of them at risk. And I cannot bear to let the Abyss just beat us down that badly and win. So let's take Thomas here and let's yeet him into the unknown and show the Tier 1 Abyss that it cannot keep us down. Now, the railgun triple tracking computer fit that we'd been running on Thomas to allow us to shoot out to 60 kilometers and beyond is, I'm sure, not the right thing for the Abyss. That was really built with the idea of these huge dead space pockets with swarms of enemies. In the Abyss, we are constrained to a small sphere of travel, and we seem to mostly be fighting just 2 or 3 hard-hitting NPCs at a time. So we have gone back to blasters, full rack of ion blasters, dual web, micro warp drive, armor rep, and a very intense resistance profile on our tank right now. So far, I haven't seen anything in there trying to kite us outside of the end of medium blaster range. We do have the ability to heat our micro warp drive and heat our webs if we do need to catch someone, and worst come to worst, we do have 2 flights of small drones. We're going into the exotic Abyss this time, which I've chosen because the kinetic resistance debuff is perfect for us to do maximum damage with our blasters. The enhanced scan resolution isn't really going to make much of a difference one way or another. The exotic particle storm is why I've specifically fitted this C-type kinetic energized membrane so that we can patch up our own kinetic hole. Tier 1 Abyss, round 3, let's go. We're yeeting in from a very, very quiet corner of Venal, dead end, deep in Garista's sovereignty. So hopefully we'll be able to do this undisturbed. I do think that the biggest danger we're going to encounter overall is going to be being killed on the way out. Although I say that, and for the first time, we've come into a pocket with a battleship in it. This could end up being... Oh, the battleship's nearly dead. Okay, let's kill the cruiser first, I think. Launch our drones. We're taking a fair bit of damage from the battleship. We just keep moving. Good. Cruiser down. Let's fly towards the battleship, but let's not go directly at it. We need to get some transversal going on here. Whoa. Okay, we can stop heating. Don't want to fly straight at him. There we go. Damage is on. And I think we're under his guns. Turn off the micro warp drive. He's missing us completely. I think we've got this in hand. Beautiful. All right, let's get our loot. We've got the micro warp drive, but we are slower by dint of being in a cruiser. It took us 3 minutes 20 seconds to clear the pocket, but I'm worried it's going to take us another 3 minutes 20 to collect the loot. And remember, we only have 20 minutes to run the whole site, 3 rooms. 500,000 ISK from the first can. 200,000 from the second. Nothing from the third. Nothing from the fourth. Into room 2. So we've spent almost 7 minutes. It'll be 7 by the time we get through the filament in this first room, which means we have to do the second room faster. We may not be able to go to all of those far-flung cans, but the bioadaptive cache, the one that's nearest the gate, I understand is the one that usually has the most loot in it. So in room 2, we're going to just grab the bioadaptive cache, I believe, and then pop through to make sure that we have time to complete room 3, whatever it may hold. Room 2, Lucifer Cynabal and a Dromio. And we're being neuted. Take the Dromio out first, I guess. Good. Dromio's going down fast. Everything on the Cynabal. We're running low on cap. But if we get into that tight orbit, I think he might miss us. I'm gonna have to start pulsing the armor rep. Made to heat guns here. Yeah, I'm gonna heat the guns. Man, even in a blaster Thorax, these tier 1 abyssal sites are not messing around. Okay, to the bioadaptive cache. We need to take time to rep all the way up before the next room. I think I might burn over to one of these containers just because I need to spend the time repping anyways. We have 10 minutes remaining. The other one's right here. We need to let our cap recharge a little bit anyways. To the gate. Well, so far, with 2 rooms down, I think the Thorax can handle this just fine. Although even still, it's been testing our tank and testing our capacitor, even with the medium cap battery. Those newts on that Cynabal were no joke. And if we try and collect all of the loot in each room, we're definitely going to be edging up against the time barrier, that's for sure. Let's hope room 3 isn't one that takes us a lot of flying around. We've used up less than 2/3 of our total available time, but we are cutting it a little closer than I would have liked. Pacifier, Skybreaker, Skybreaker. I'm assuming the Pacifier is going to have the DPS and the Skybreakers are going to have the tank. All the Skybreakers, if they are actually using their weapon system, might eat through our drones pretty fast, so we're going to have to watch them as well. Oh, yeah, drones are dying. Pacifier's down. Let's see how quickly these Skybreakers die. Skybreakers are known for having a bonkers tank. And they're doing a fair bit of damage, too. Gonna have to heat some stuff. Good, one down. Okay, I think with only one Skybreaker left in the field, we can stop heating our tank. There we go. Bioadaptive cache. Let's go. 5 minutes, 20 seconds left to loot the field. See how many of these we can get. Okay, to the gate. I hope we don't get bumped too much from being inside this asteroid. Ready to manually fly my way out of here. Okay, to the gate. 2 minutes 56 remaining. But we got it all! In your face, Abyssal Deadspace. Thanks for the 2.8 million-esque.